Welcome back to Fort Wayne's Smallest Winner. I think the big question is, why would we need a Fort Wayne Smallest Winner? Well, it's because people might be struggling with their quality of life or their weight. I am pleased to be joined now by Dr. Robert Godley from Fort Wayne Cardiology. And Dr. Godley, I think that is the big question. We're talking now in the year 2010. What percentage of Americans are having problems with their weight, either being overweight or maybe more importantly, obese?
Well, the overweight and obese population now, amazingly, in the last 10 years has reached 2/3 of our population. And those 2/3 include children, young adults, the elderly, and it crosses all ethnic groups. So it's a huge problem, no pun intended.
Right.
And actually, it's truly considered an epidemic, and that's appropriate.
And then I think here is maybe the scary question in conjunction with this problem with our youth. What percentage of our children are having problems with weight?
Well, the percentage keeps increasing. The overweight and obesity percentage is over 60-70% now in the United States.
And I think the question, when I found these statistics, why? How can this be happening? Because I would think we're better educated and there are better opportunities to eat better quality of food, and something's missing here.
I think the education is missing. One concern I've had is schools don't do much in the way of physical education any longer, and oftentimes you'll see that children follow their parents' pattern, and obesity has been a major problem with adults, and kids tend to eat like their adult mentors, parents, and it becomes a huge problem. And I think exercise has fallen off as far as our youth.
Is there a lot of validity to the old statement, you are what you eat? Because I know we seem to be a more frenetic society, and there is a fast food mentality. We even have that in television. People want it on demand. They want it right now. Everything is fast food, fast food, fast food. And are people still, is that what they're predominantly, especially our youth, putting into their tummies?
I think, yes, fast food, supersizing, eating quickly and not eating right, and then not exercising. It's a bad equation.
And here's one of the things that I think people really don't think about. You say, okay, I'm a relatively healthy person. Yeah, I could take off a few pounds here or there, but then those few pounds become more pounds and more pounds and more pounds. But this can affect your overall health, and then other illnesses or even diseases can start to affect you, and then you're in trouble.
That's exactly right. And as a cardiologist, one thing that certainly concerns us is that obese people have a much higher rate of high blood pressure, hypertension, high sugar, high cholesterol, sedentary lifestyle, and each of those are significant risk factors to develop heart attacks. And it causes other problems too, in certain types of cancers, osteoporosis, depression, obstructive sleep apnea, and the list goes on.
And Dr. Godley, here's the thing, can people even figure out that if you are severely overweight, it is affecting your heart? I think your heart is, well, it's the heart of the whole situation because your heart controls so many other things in your body. If you're taxing your heart because you're overweight, you've probably seen all sorts of problems that creep up because you're damaging the heart with all the extra weight people are carrying.
Damaging the heart, then you're shortening your lifestyle significantly. I think, though, that the good news is a program like this allows you to, as Rick was saying earlier, change your attitude towards food, eat right, exercise, really think of food as fuel, and I think that's the best way to approach it. And if you do that along with exercise, that's a winning formula.
Here may be one of the tough questions, Dr. Godley, because people could be watching right now and they could say, okay, I need to take some weight off. Everybody, it's a New Year's resolution, it's an annual thing. Health club memberships always go up, but people want to take off. As a cardiologist, how do you suggest people exercise, especially so they won't do it for 4 or 5 days or a week or two? No, I'm done. How do you suggest people exercise where they can just improve their health?
Well, really, it doesn't take complicated equipment or a health club. If people would walk 30 or 40 minutes most days, cut down on their calorie intake, particularly carbohydrates and sugars, and not eat after dinner, and stick to this pattern, I think they'd be able to successfully lose weight and keep it off if they're exercising. The problem with obesity and overweight is that it's a most difficult problem. If you drink too much alcohol, you don't have to drink. If you smoke, you don't have to smoke cigarettes. But you have to eat, and food's everywhere in our society. And the problem is the older you get, the more time you have, the more social things you do, and the more food there is. So it's a tough equation. In addition, as we get older, our metabolism slows down, so you really have to pay attention. But I think with regular exercise, just walking, you can succeed along with a healthy diet.
Dr. Godley, thank you so much for being a guest with us tonight and your expert advice. I hope a lot of people kind of take this to heart, no pun intended, and they can improve their health. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Robert Godley from Fort Wayne Cardiology. More information you can see, call 481-4868 or fortwaynecardiology.com. We'll be right back.